just outside of Jersey, past the Palisades.
You miss my loving, my doggy dog loving.
When you look at me, baby.
Your lips, your smile, eyes. It's on again. Every year we home and remain beaches, houses. Let's go. Menage.
It sounds like a whole lot, babe, but I care about you enough to give it a try.
Nah. Ain't nobody gonna get shot tonight. What we gonna do is just, you gonna get in your car and you gonna get out of here. You hear what I'm saying to you? My nigga gonna rip shit down tonight. Yeah, baby.
Please, just leave everybody else out of it.
Just take me.
To beat me, you're gonna have to kill me. And to kill me, you better be ready to die your mother self.
Once upon a time, mind you, this is not a fairy tale. Ja Rule was that guy. The radio was flooded with his hits, and the charts, he practically lived there. Between the late 90s and early 2000s, this Queens-born rapper was serving hit after hit, stacking Grammy nominations like they were sneakers, and holding it down with legends like Jay-Z, DMX, Method Man, and Redman. Ja had mean verses, turned hooks into anthems, and had fans in a chokehold with that signature raspy voice. But just when it seemed like the throne was his for keeps, another Queens rapper showed up. And let's just say the energy shifted real fast. Ja Rule's reign didn't just end, it crashed like a Windows 98 computer. His real name is Jeffrey Bruce Atkins. But don't let the government name fool you. Bruce was brutal. Born on February 29th, Ja is technically a leap year baby, which means the man only gets a real birthday once every 4 years. So if we're being petty about the math, he's like 9 years old. A whole rap legend out here still in single digits. Now, young Jeffrey didn't exactly grow up in the spotlight. From ages 6 to 12, he was raised by his grandparents, Jehovah's Witnesses. So little Ja was knocking on doors, Bible in hand, trying to convert the block.
Young kid, you don't really want to go to church, you know what I mean? Your parents make you go to church on Sunday. It was the same thing, Jehovah's Witnesses, you know, they made us go.
But life wasn't all hymns and watchtowers. By 14, he hit the streets, chasing fast money the only way he knew how. It wasn't long before the streets chased back. He got locked up at 16 for drugs and gun possession. But here's where things take a turn. At 18, Ja joined a 3-man rap group and adopted the name Ja Rule. Ja from his initials and Rule because a friend said it sounded tough. Solid branding, honestly. Unfortunately, the group didn't last. One member landed in jail, but Ja didn't stop moving. He kept grinding, and in 1998, he landed a record deal with Def Jam. Major key alert. By 23, he dropped his first solo album, Veni Vidi Vici, and it went platinum. The album gave us Holla Holla, a banger so loud, Ja's voice basically slapped you through the speaker. That growly, gravelly, unmistakable voice became his signature, and suddenly he was everywhere. Radio, TV, your crush's ringtone, you name it. And don't get it twisted, Ja wasn't just yelling on beats. He gave us layers. One minute he was on his gangsta vibe, next minute he's serenading Ashanti with that raspy Romeo energy. Man was versatile. Over the years, he stacked hit after hit, sold over 30 million records, dropped 7 more albums, and even published a memoir called Unruly, The Highs and Lows of Becoming a Man.
Ja was Drake, he couldn't fucking miss. And he also put on like for Christina Milian, he had the J-Lo, Ashanti.
His sound, heavy on melody, thick with Irv Gotti's synthy cinematic beats, was the blueprint for the early 2000s. And while others tried to imitate the formula, no one ever quite matched the magic. Okay, so let's just call it what it was. Ja Rule's career went off a cliff, and Murder Inc. drove the getaway car. Everything was going fine, like really fine. For a while, Ja was dropping hits, the label was booming, and life was sweet. Then out of nowhere, the feds showed up. Yep, real FBI business. Murder Inc. got caught up in this massive investigation, stuff like money laundering and all kinds of behind-the-scenes mess. Once that hit the news, everything paused. No new music, no promo, just straight chaos. Def Jam, who basically owned Murder Inc., was like, yeah, we're not touching this. And they shut down a lot of Ja's old old stuff too. That meant he couldn't even make money off the music he already made. Yes, Ja tried to keep it pushing. He dropped a few more albums, but the vibe had changed. People weren't checking for him like they used to. So in 2009, he dipped from Murder Inc. and started his own label, Empire Music Group. He even dropped Pain Is Love too, trying to catch that old magic. But yeah, it didn't really hit like the first one. And just when things were already falling apart, here comes Half a Dollar. And let me tell you, this wasn't a diss and move on kind of drama. This is a decade-long generational trauma beef. They both claim not to know what caused it though.
Even sharing conversation or knowing each other, people can grow a dislike into each other. You know, and hip-hop is very competitive.
Anyways, word on the street says it allegedly kicked off when Ja was filming a music video in '99 and got his chain snatched by someone connected to 50. Now, 50 Cent swears Ja was salty from that moment, but Ja tells it differently. According to him, the real issue came when 50 felt snubbed by Murder Inc. at a music video shoot. Either way, the tension hit the gas and there was no going back.
50 came in, he had Dre, he had Eminem, and he had the power of his pen, and he had the world on his shoulders, and all the fans had his back, and so there was no competing with that.
That same year, 50 dropped a diss track called Life's on the Line, throwing shade like it was shade season. Ja was riding high off his Veni Vidi Vici album, and 50 was still trying to break through. But that track stirred the pot real good. Then came 2000 and whoo, things got physical. First, the two ran into each other at a club in Atlanta, words were exchanged, and fists might have followed. Depends on who you ask. But the real drama came later, back in NYC. At the legendary Hit Factory studio, Ja supposedly got tipped off that 50 was inside recording. So what does he do? He pulls up with backup. A fight broke out and 50 ended up getting stabbed by Murder Inc.'s Black Child. Yeah, stabbed. Then, as if things weren't chaotic enough, Ja decided to add another heavyweight to his list of enemies, Eminem. In 2008, Ja fired shots in a diss track called Loose Change. And listen, he didn't hold back. He went after M's mom, M's ex-wife, and even came after his daughter Haley. That's where everyone drew the line. The moment Ja asked, "So what's Haley gonna be when she grows up?" oh, it was over. Eminem clapped back with Do Re Mi, Haley's Revenge, backed by all of D12. The track dragged Ja for trying to copy Tupac's style, mocked his career, and basically warned him to never mention Haley again unless he wanted real smoke. So by 2011, Ja finally went to prison for that tax-gun combo. Yeah, he needed the break. We already know he caught a case as a teen, right? But fast forward to grown-up Ja, and the man got hit with 2 separate charges in the same year. In 2007, NYPD pulled him over after a show and found a loaded .40 caliber semi-auto chilling in his car like it paid rent. That alone got him 2 years. Then while dealing with that mess, he was also caught ducking Uncle Sam. Turns out Ja hadn't paid taxes on over $3 million between 2004 and 2006. So in 2011, he started serving his time. The good news? They let him serve both sentences at the same time. The bad news? That's still 28 months behind bars. Needless to say, his career was highly affected. The IRS and G Unit ruined Ja Rule back then, but the rap beef had collateral damage. Ashanti. Ja and Ashanti had early 2000s music on lock, hit after hit, and chemistry that had fans whispering, wait, are they dating? But even with all the speculation, Ashanti stood firm. They were never more than a studio duo. Still, when Murder Inc. started crumbling, her reign quietly faded too. She nabbed a Grammy in 2003, but after that, subpar albums, Broadway gigs, and a slow retreat from the throne. The dream team split and the industry moved on. Anyways, Ja came back out in 2013 and tried to restart things. Launched his own label, Empire Music Group, dropped Pain Is Love 2 in 2012 as a follow-up to his earlier success. But honestly, nobody was really checking for it. The world had moved on. But wait, the beef still wasn't over, not even close. Fast forward to 2014 and Ja's not done talking. In his memoir, Unruly, The Highs and Lows of Becoming a Man, he accused 50 Cent of snitching. claiming it was Fitty who tipped off the feds and sparked the whole Murder Inc. investigation in the first place. Of course, Fitty denied it and clowned Ja all over again. By 2016, Ja was working on one last album, Coup de Grace, and he made it clear this was the final bow. He said his first album was like, I came, I saw, I conquered, and this one, Final Blow. Respectfully poetic, but we're still waiting on it till date. Then came 2018 when Fitty decided to go full petty and make the beef comedy. Ja was doing his nostalgia tour thing in Vegas, and Fitty allegedly bought the first 200 front row tickets just to make sure nobody was sitting there. He even photoshopped a pic of himself chilling in the empty seats. The internet ate it up. So now, over 2 decades later, this beef is still simmering like a slow-cooked grudge. But nothing, and I mean nothing, tanked Ja Rule's legacy like the Fyre Festival disaster. So in 2017, Ja had teamed up with entrepreneur Billy McFarland to launch what was sold as a once-in-a-lifetime luxury music festival in the Bahamas. Social media was flooded with glossy promo videos starring Kendall Jenner, Bella Hadid, and Hailey Baldwin. They promised an elite tropical paradise with 5-star chefs, private villas, and performances by top-tier artists. Tickets? Some folks dropped over $12,000 just to get in. But when guests arrived, it was disaster relief tent energy. Rain-soaked mattresses, no running water, no working toilets, and gourmet meals that turned out to be sad cheese sandwiches. Luggage tossed into parking lots, artists pulling out, complete chaos. One lawsuit even compared it to the Hunger Games. And while Billy McFarland ended up doing 6 years for fraud, plus a permanent ban from running public companies, Ja Rule somehow walked away legally unscathed. By 2019, the court had cleared him from a $100 million class action lawsuit. Still, the internet wasn't so forgiving. After the Netflix doc dropped, fans dragged him online. Especially for that infamous line caught on a conference call, "It's not like anybody died." Yikes. Mind you, before Fyre Fest, Ja had worked with McFarland on a sketchy credit card service called Magnesis, which promised VIP perks for millennials for a $250 annual fee. Members say the perks rarely came, so by the time Fyre imploded, Ja's association with Billy was already looking sus. And just when we thought we'd left all that in the past, McFarland came crawling out of jail in 2023, teasing Fyre Festival 2. Said he dreamed it up in solitary confinement. And Ja, he's been smart enough to stay away from round 2. Now, the man just wants to be with his family. See, Ja Rule isn't just the guy who made hits with Ashanti or beefed with half the rap game. He's also a husband and a full-time girl dad. He's been married to Aisha Atkins since 2001, but their love story actually goes way back. They met in high school, just Ja and Aisha, 2 Queens teens figuring life out together. And through everything, the music, the money, the madness, she's stuck beside him. They've got 3 kids, Brittany, Jeffrey Jr., and Jordan. And in 2015, the whole fam let cameras into their world for the MTV reality show, Follow the Rules.
Trying to get to home base.
Okay.
You're trying to get to the U.
That's my baby girl.
That's my baby girl, too.
No. I got my fucking eyes on you. And daddy's got a lot of guns.
It was Ja giving life advice, dad jokes, and romantic gestures to Aisha all in one package. It only ran for 1 season, but it showed a side of him that fans hadn't really seen before. The husband, the father, the guy trying to keep things chill at home while his name stayed in headlines. Now at 49 years old, Ja Rule has stacked up a net worth of around $4 million. Not bad at all, but when you hear what he passed up, your jaw might just hit the floor. Okay, so you already know Ja could hold down a mic. But turns out he's also got a thing for movie cameras. His acting journey started in 2000 with Turn It Up, a gritty buddy crime flick alongside Pras from the Fugees.
All right. Took your money.
That same year, he pulled up in The Fast and the Furious as Edwin. dropping bars and revving engines in what was supposed to be a small part, but nearly turned into a franchise-defining role. Let's circle back to the Fast and the Furious because, whoo, this part hurts. Ja had a small but memorable role in the 2001 original, playing street racer Edwin. He even had that iconic Monica scene.
Hey, Monica. What's up, baby?
What's your problem? You didn't win.
The studio wanted him back for the sequel with a bigger paycheck and a bigger role, reportedly around $500K at the time. But Ja said no. Why? He told the reporters he was trying to be taken more seriously in Hollywood and thought the franchise wasn't going to blow up. He wanted to pursue more meaningful roles, not just car racing blockbusters. And listen, in his defense, at the time, Fast and Furious didn't seem like it would ever become this big. But that role went to Ludacris, and well, we all know how that turned out. Luda has become a staple in the franchise, making bank every time a new one comes out, and becoming a full-on movie star in his own right. So yeah, he lost the role, the franchise, and arguably one of the biggest Hollywood bags a rapper has ever fumbled. But Ja didn't stop there. He kept stacking film credits like mixtape features. He shared the screen with legends like Steven Seagal and Half Past Dead.
Nah, not me. That's not what I'm going to do.
Where Ja somehow managed to outact a literal action movie veteran. He rolled with Ving Rhames and Pam Grier in Back in the Day.
Just like him.
You can't even put food on the table.
Get out of here. Get out. Get out.
Pulled up to the cookout, literally with Queen Latifah in the cookout.
Shut up. And it's pronounced Asmokin. It's West Africa.
And got gritty again in Assault on Precinct 13.
Happy New Year, man. I'm gonna get the out of here. He's shooting. What the heck, man? My shoulder.
Then came his most unexpected pivot. I'm in love with a church girl in 2013.
Young dude, $300,000 car, $1 million home. And mommy, daddy ain't nowhere in sight.
Yes, you heard that right. Ja Rule went full holy script in a Christian romance drama, playing a former drug dealer trying to turn his life around after falling for a church girl. It definitely didn't come with 7 sequels, luxury cars, or billion-dollar box office numbers.